all on my lane, you all on my lane. You ain't overlooked, so get out the way. I gave you the book, I gave you the game. The boy gotta cook, the boy got a flame, Serving in the kitchen like you Nino. Plenty bitchin', whipping different flavors like a bistro. Kick it, dip it, flip it, keep it hunting like a C-note. Switching, keep it pimping every single place that he go. I got it. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Boy, you know the name, get up out the way. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Stay up out the kitchen if you ain't the one that's whipping, huh? Hey, yo, Lathan, man, cook them boys up something real quick, man.
What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Now, today we got the most amazing jambalaya. So we got 1 yellow onion, 2 stalks of celery, 1 green bell pepper, all diced up. And then we got our seasonings. We got 1/4 of a teaspoon each of granulated onion, granulated garlic, thyme, slap your mama, paprika, black pepper, and cayenne. Then we got 6 cloves of garlic, just rough chopped. And then we got a can of diced tomatoes. All right, so we got all them seasons out the way. Then we got 31 to 40 per pound, a pound of shrimp there. So that's 31 to 40 pieces per pound. Then we got 2 cups of long grain rice. And we got 1 pound of sausage and 1.5 pounds of chicken thighs diced. And we're gonna go ahead and sear them chicken thighs. And I added a little salt to these chicken thighs and just did a hard sear and some grapeseed oil. And we're gonna use the same grapeseed oil to make our roux with. But get a hard sear on that chicken. Go ahead and season it with some salt. You can add black pepper if you want to as well, but I got it in the other seasoning, so I didn't add it to the chicken. So go ahead and cook that chicken. Now, you don't have to cook this chicken through because we're going to finish our jambalaya in the oven, but you just want to get a good hard sear onto the chicken. And once you get that good hard sear onto the chicken, go ahead and place that aside, and we're going to begin to work on our roux. Now, if you know anything about Cajun cooking, roux is like the mecca of it. So go ahead and I got a 1/2 cup of grapeseed oil followed by a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, and then we're gonna work that into a roux. While you're making this roux, just continue to stir it the whole time. Do not leave this roux. You want to make sure you stir it until it becomes chocolate. And you could be standing there for a good 45 minutes, hour, 2 hours, just depending on how high you got your heat. If you're starting off, I recommend put your heat on low, but if you've been making a roux for a while, you can go a little high temperatures. But once that roux get to the point where it's chocolate, go ahead and add your veggies into that roux. Now, the roux was so hot, it's going to go ahead and saute those vegetables fairly quickly. But once you get those vegetables nice and tender, you're going to go ahead and add your garlic to it. Don't add your garlic too soon because the roux, you don't want it to burn your garlic. So at this point, go ahead and add your garlic, and the garlic realistically needs to just stay in there maybe a minute, and it'll be good and fragrant. You'll begin to smell the garlic on top of that roux flavor. That roux flavor gonna have your house smelling oh so good. It's gonna smell like gumbo throughout the whole house. And now, once you get to this step here, where it's all lovely, go ahead and begin to add your chicken, and that's what I did. Added my chicken to it. Now, the chicken thighs got a lot of oil on them, so I just discarded the rest of the oil and just added the chicken and not the oil. And I got that all incorporated in there. Then I went on with my sausage, and I'm going to mix that into the batch as well. And once we get those sausage tossed and everything, and you don't want to add your shrimp to later because, like I said, those are small shrimp and you don't want to overcook them. You don't want rubber bands in this jambalaya, so reserve your shrimp to the end, and I'll show you when I add those in. But once the sausage and the shrimp, the sausage and the chicken is incorporated, go ahead and add all your seasonings into this mix and go ahead and mix it up. Now, this is not a traditional jambalaya at all. I was just working with Chef Keena, and I really felt the need to kind of enhance my cooking Cajun game. So that's why I came up with this dish here, but it's not traditional at all. If you want traditional jambalaya, go to a Cajun person, but this is just my take on the amazing food they create. But yeah, we get to this part here. Go ahead and add your chicken stock into the mix and go ahead and mix it up. And you want to add this in, I added it in halves. Some people add it in thirds or fourths, but go ahead and add that chicken stock in and get it well incorporated with everything. Once you get that chicken stock in there, you're going to kind of erase that heat and just stir it and kind of bring it to a slow simmer. And then we're going to increase it and bring it up to a boil to develop the flavors with that roux. Once that roux kind of begin to slow simmer, go ahead and add your tomatoes to the mix and stir those in really good. And some people don't like tomatoes in a jambalaya. I guess for me, it's just all about taste. Make sure you taste as you go as well. Once you get those tomatoes incorporated, go ahead and kind of raise the temperature a little bit. We want to raise it to a boil, just because we want to help it out when we put it in the oven. And once I get it at a boil, I'm gonna go ahead and add my rice to it. Now my rice, I took my 2 cups of rice and just rinsed it under cold water until it ran clear. To rinse off any dirt or debris on the rice, as well as take a little bit of the starch off. And you're going to see my jambalaya is going to be kind of loose because I like mine's kind of looser. Some people like it where it's very dry, but I like mine's fairly loose because anything about a jambalaya or gumbo, majority of the times you eat it days later, and if you make it too thick, you're gonna have to add liquid to it later. But if you make it a little loose like I'm making it, it's gonna always have a good consistency even tomorrow and the next day after that. But once you pop it in the oven for about 30 minutes until everything is set up, and my oven is at 350 degrees, and just until the rice is cooked. Once you get to this point here, we're going to dry it out a little bit more, but it's time to add our shrimp in. We're going to add our shrimp in, and this is the time. Actually, the liquid is so hot it's going to cook the shrimp, but since mine was a tad bit too loose, I went ahead and popped it back into the oven, uncovered, just to kind of dry it out just a little bit. But like I said, I don't want it too dry because I like my jambalaya fairly loose, especially considering the fact that we're going to eat this today and days later. And as it said, it just continues to dry out and the rice continues to absorb the liquid, and keeping it a little loose, it'll always be a good consistency for later on. But once it get to that point, you pop it out the oven. I just popped it in the oven the second time for about 5 minutes, and it kind of dried up just a little bit where I wanted it at, and it's the consistency I'm looking for, which is perfect. Now it's time to get ready and plate this thing up. Like I said, this thing is magnificent. By the way, I added 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. If you don't like it that spicy, because I did add Slap Your Mama as well. If you don't like it that spicy, omit the cayenne, because this does have a good amount of heat on the back of the throat, but it's not too hot, but it does have some heat. So if you don't like heat that much, just omit that second help in the cayenne. But we're going to go ahead and plate this thing up, and I topped it with some green onions and parsley, and there you have it, man. The most incredible jambalaya. Like I said, this is not traditional by any means, but just my take on a good jambalaya, especially for a family and average home cook. So thank you guys for checking this video out, man. The most incredible jambalaya from the Bistro. Like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Appreciate you guys for always checking out my channel, man. I'm out.